Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a fresh new chapter from NCERT Class 6 History. This is chapter number 7, titled as Ashoka, the Emperor Who Gave Up War. Now, I would advise you to go through the Buddhist teaching once again before you start doing this chapter. That will help you understand this chapter in a better way. Now, Ashoka was a emperor. Now, what is the difference between a king and an emperor? Now, a king rules a kingdom, and the empire is ruled by the emperor. So, how are the empires different from kingdoms? Because they are larger than kingdoms. Empires are larger than kingdoms. So, emperors require more resources than kings. They need to be protected by big armies. Now, the big armies are there, so they require regular salaries to be paid to the army to buy different weapons, and they require a large number of officials to collect different taxes. Now we have also heard the word dynasty, which we are going to use in the chapter also. So what is the meaning of the word dynasty? When the members of the same family become rulers one after the other, the family is often called as a dynasty. Like we say Mauryan dynasty. So why dynasty? Because the members of the same family became rulers. Now we are going to talk about the Mauryan dynasty, which was the big empire. Who founded Mauryan dynasty? Chandragupta Maurya, about 2300 years ago. Now he was supported by Chanakya, who is also known as Kautilya, and whose ideas were written in a book called Arthashastra. Now, Arthashastra was a very important book. It is valued even today, and this book contains different strategies and administration for the kingdom or for any country or any state. The Mauryan Empire had several cities like Patliputra, Takshila, and Ujjain. These three cities were very important, and we are going to cover these cities in this chapter also. Now, talking about Maurya dynasty, the founder was Chandragupta Maurya. His son was Bindusara. And then came the Ashoka, the emperor. So we are going to talk about Ashoka, the emperor, in this chapter. He was the third king. And all these kings, now that is why we call dynasty, because the members of the same family were becoming emperors one after the other. And Bindusara expanded the region for Maurya dynasty, and Ashoka further expanded the region of Maurya dynasty after the Bindusara. Now there were three important cities. If you can see in the Mauryan dynasty, the main capital was Patliputra, and there were two provincial capitals. One was Ujjain and the other was Takshila. Now why when the main capital was here, what was the need of keeping the other two capitals? Now this was the main capital and these were the provincial capitals. See, if you see, look in the map, you will see that the Mauryan Empire is expanded to a large extent. So to administer it, to control it was very important. So this remained the main capital, which was under the direct control of the emperor. And these two were important so that from Ujjain, the north and the south could be controlled and administered, and Takshila for this entire area. So that is why these two capitals were kept. Now Takshila is in present day Pakistan. Now Takshila, as I just told you, it was a gate to the northwest, including Central Asia, and Ujjain to control the north and south India, because Ujjain is in the Madhya Pradesh, today's Madhya Pradesh. Now, there were different merchant, craftsperson and officials who lived in these cities. They were, because the cities were there, then villages also will be there. So, in the villages, farmers and herders used to live. And in central India, we had forested region also, where people gathered forest produce and hunted animals for food. Now, the region was very diversified. The entire Mauryan Empire was very diversified, because people in different parts of the empire spoke different languages. They ate different kind of food, and there were different clothing worn by different people belonging to different states and different parts of the Mauryan Empire. Now, if you see only this part, which is present day Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. This was not under the control of Mauryan Empire. We had Chola kings here. Otherwise, if you see from your Afghanistan to Bangladesh and from your north to Kashmir to this part, the entire thing was under Mauryan Empire. Now we will see how different regions in the Mauryan Empire were administered and controlled by the emperor. Now we have seen, we just learned that there were different parts. The extent of Mauryan Empire was very large. So the Patliputra, which was the main capital, that was under the direct control of the emperor, and there were other areas which were under the control of emperor through provincial capitals like Takshila and Ujjain. So first we are going to see how ruling in Patliputra was there. So officials were appointed to collect taxes, and taxes were collected from farmers, craftspersons, herders and traders who either lived in villages and the towns. And officials had the power to punish those who disobeyed the ruler's orders, and these officials who were collecting taxes were also given salaries by the emperor. Now there were other people also who were helping to in maintaining and administrating and collecting taxes. There were messengers and who like moved from one place to other, to and fro. Spies were there who kept a watch on the officials, and there were members of the royal family and senior ministers were also there who assisted the emperor in overall supervision of the empire when it came to the main capital. Now ruling the other areas like your Takshila or Ujjain. So these areas were important because they control different routes because the extent was large. So different royal princes were sent to these other areas as governors, and local customs and rules were probably followed. They were given due importance as there were vast areas between these centers. So this is how they were controlled. Now the extent was very large for the Mauryan Empire, and though we had the provincial capitals, but still Mauryans tried to control roads and rivers. And why they tried to control roads and rivers? Because they were important channels for the transports. So they collected different tax and tributes wherever they were applicable and available. So according to Arthashastra, we get to know that the northwest was important for blankets and South India was important for gold and precious stones. Now these were collected tax and tribute. So what is the difference between a tax and a tribute? Tax is collected on a regular basis, and tribute is given as and when possible. So tax remains fixed, and tribute is like you will give more or less willingly. So this is a difference. So here what is to be given, when to be given, how it is to be given remains fixed, and here it is not like compulsory, but yes, it is collected, it is given as and when possible, and it is given by choice. It is willingly done by people. So there, and then further we had different forested regions. Here we believe that they were not they were not under the control of emperors. These people who lived in the forested regions were more independent, but it is expected, because they were under the empire, so they were expected to provide elephants, timber, honey and wax, which are available in the forested regions. Now we get to know about the Mauryan Empire through two different sources. The first is Kautilya, or the Chanakya, whom we have just learned. So his book was Arthashastra, which talks about administration and the strategies. The book is still valued today. The other is Megasthenes. Now who was Megasthenes? First of all, Chanakya wrote the book Arthashastra and Megasthenes wrote the book Indica. Now Megasthenes was the ambassador. He was sent by the Greek ruler Seleucus Nicator to the court of Chandragupta. Okay, and in his book he gives a detailed account of how his kingdom was. So what are we talking about presently? Megasthenes was an ambassador from the Greek ruler who sent him, the Greek ruler Seleucus Nicator, to the court of Chandragupta. So this is a extract from your book, from NCERT book, and after when we read this extract, we come to know that what he observed. He stayed there in Patliputra. Megasthenes stayed there in Patliputra for 5 years, and he actually wrote in his book, he gives a detailed account of the kingdom, that it was a very rich kingdom. This is what we derive. It is an extract, and what we can derive is that it was a very rich empire. The emperor had to take precautions to protect himself, like he would not stay in the same room for more than 2 days. Okay, he had women who were there to to protect the king, okay, to protect him from any danger. And these were different things, like if he is there, if his emperor is appearing in public places, he is his presence is celebrated with royal grand royal processions. He's carried in a palanquin, so the grandeur was also there. So it is describing the richness of the empire. Now coming to the Patliputra, what details Megasthenes gives of Patliputra, that the capital was very planned, well built, beautiful and fortified cities. There were beautiful palaces in the kingdom, not in the kingdom, the empire, and there were strong houses for common people also, well built strong houses for common people also. So this is what we get to know about the Mauryan Empire through the Megasthenes book Inca, and this remains the extract from your book. So with this, we come to the end of the first part of this chapter. We are going to continue in the second part. Please do like, share and subscribe and watch it again. Thank you.